Hi there YouTube, welcome to my vlog. So the location I'm at today, I was actually out the other day, on Saturday. It's Monday now. The reason I'm back again in the exact same location, and I'm going to be taking the same photograph probably, is because the video for whatever reason didn't work. When I say the video, I mean the audio. I'm not sure whether it was the microphone or whether it wasn't plugged in properly, but there was about 5 clips that had no audio. So I'm going to use this audio today, and I've got a different mic on the camera. I've got a Rode mic on the camera. It's a bit bigger than the one I would rather use, but I just want to eliminate any possibilities. Speaking of which, yes, that's plugged in properly. I just want to eliminate all possibilities of the audio going wrong again. Now, today it's much colder than it was the other day. In fact, it's freezing cold, and I didn't bring any gloves with me. Today's video, I want to talk to you about why I think it's harder in winter to do woodland photography. In the spring, we get lots of nice colour, new foliage and everything. In the autumn, we get all the glorious, amazing, rich colours, which that's the favourite time for anybody who does woodland photography. In the winter, especially on nice days like it is today, everything's a bit bland because all the trees are bare, and it's not very easy to find interesting stuff to photograph. So I'm just going to walk over, and I'm going to be careful because I'm literally on a ledge here. It's quite a steep drop down there. So what I try and do is I try to find trees that have got other interesting aspects other than just their foliage. So this tree, for instance, this really gorgeous, twisty, gnarly old oak tree. It's got a really nice bark pattern. The bark's covered in moss, which gives it some nice colour, and then it's got all that twisty sort of ivy growing up through the tree, which gives it some more interest. And then we've got some ivy roots at the bottom, at the base of the tree, which then give us a little bit of foreground interest. Sorry, I keep swapping hands because my hands are freezing. Oh. It's windy as well today. It wasn't windy the other day. It's perfectly still. Never mind. So yeah, that's what I try and do, is I try and look for trees that are as interesting as possible. So that kind of rules out some species of trees, because without their foliage or their autumn colours, they look a bit bland. For instance, that tree down there. Now, I'm not sure whether that's a birch or a beech. It's one or the other. Now, in the autumn, that would have been covered in beautiful orange and yellow leaves. But now it's just bare, and it just looks like a white twig. Okay, so I'm just going to talk to you about how I'm actually framing this composition up. So, I don't want the sky, so I'm going to zoom in until that top horizon is gone out of the frame. So there we go. Now I'm going to check focus. There we go, that's sharp. So I'm going to underexpose by a whole stop, because we've got some pretty bright sunshine hitting it. In fact, I might even go a little bit more than that. Yeah, let's go almost 2 stops, because we've got some bright highlights going on, and I want to try and get rid of that. So f11, ISO 50, 25th of a second, 2-second timer. And there we go. Done. Okay, so now I've got that shot, I'm gonna go over to where I took my second shot the other day. And another thing I want to talk to you about is, in this video, or with this video, I'm going to be giving away a print of one of the photographs that I take today. So if you want to win a free signed print of one of the pictures that I take today, then stay with the video all the way to the end, and I'll tell you how you can do that. Right, I'm going to grab my gear, put my freezing cold hands in my pockets, and go over to my next location. Okay, so the next image that I took last Saturday, when I failed to get the video right. Maybe it was the equipment that failed on me, but I'm not supposed to blame the equipment, am I? It's my own fault for not using this. Okay, so the next image. Now, it's a really nice image. We've got a path that leads, well, it's more of an animal track, I think, that leads through the frame, and it kind of sweeps around. And then we've got some really nice gnarly oak trees that are covered in moss. We've got some rocks on the mid-ground that are covered in moss as well. The branches of the tree all come over into the frame from the left-hand side. The only problem I've got is the sun is much harsher than it was on Saturday, and it's windy too, although at the moment it's quite still, so I might just grab an exposure whilst the wind's down. But I've got some really unpleasant glare from the sun. Now, what I'm thinking is, yeah, you see the my focal length is at about 50 mil, so I can't really put the 70 to 300 on, because that's got a nice long lens hood that might cut out some of the glare from the sun. Maybe if I shade the lens a little bit. Yeah, that's not really working. That's not working. Yeah, I don't know what to do about this now. I do have the shot from Saturday in the bag, so it's not a problem. I can still show the image, and that can still be the image that you choose if you wish. But I don't think it's going to work today, because I've got way too much. The sun is just too harsh. It really is. I mean, you can see I'm squinting here because it's in my face, and if I lean right into the sun like that, oh, no, way too harsh. But I will show you with this camera what it is that I'm looking at here. So that's the shot framed up on the back of the camera, which you can't see very well because it's just, everything's just too bright. Let's see if I can show you. So as you can see, we've got over on the left, we've got some trees. They bend over into the frame. We've got that path that leads through the frame, and it is quite a nice shot. But I'm not going to take it today, because the highlights are just too harsh, and it's not going to work. The other shot I took on Saturday, the third shot that I took, that actually will work, I believe. While I think about it, I actually took 2 shots of this scene. The first shot I took was this shot. The second shot I took, I'm going to bring you around here so that you can see what I'm doing. Okay, so what I did is I zoomed in so that I bypassed. Let me just bring my exposure down a bit so you can see better. So what it is, I bypassed this this tree here, and I focused in on that tree and that area of the composition. So that was more like the composition. So that we had the this path leading through this side of the frame, a tree there, and then all this stuff coming over the top. Now let's just check the focus, and I think if I remember rightly I focused on that bough there, like so. And that was the image, I'm pretty sure. Might have focused in a little bit tighter than that, but I was using my 24-105 and I've got my 24-70 on today. But I'll take this shot anyway. So that was basically the shot, which I'll put up now. Not this one, the one that I took on Saturday. This was the third composition or photograph that I took on Saturday, and again it's got all the elements that I talked about earlier. So it's got lots of wrapping around vines. It's a beautiful twisty gnarly oak tree. It doesn't just go straight up, it leans out. It's growing out of a bank, and it's got some nice moss-covered rocks all around the base, and the tree itself is covered in moss. Now, what I did on Saturday, I'm doing again today, just to demonstrate how I took this shot. Now I may not use this shot, I may use the shot from Saturday because it was really still, there was no wind, it's really windy today, so some of the branches might be blurred. So what I did is I actually overexposed this shot by quite a lot. And looking at my meter here, I overexposed by a whole stop. And the reason I did that is because what I wanted to do is make the kind of white out or blow out the background to give it that sort of ethereal look about it. So you can do both when you're shooting woodland. You can really only use this technique though if you do have some harsh bright highlights. If it's a dull overcast day or it's misty or whatever, I wouldn't advise doing this. But if you do have harsh sunshine like we have today, then this technique works quite well. And whereas I normally underexpose my photographs by quite a bit, and by the way, it's good to see another photographer using that technique, so it's becoming quite popular now, underexposing. Who would have thought it, eh? Anyway, I'm going to switch this off because my battery's dying and you're not looking at it, so there's no point having it switched on. Yeah, as I was saying, by overexposing this shot, it kind of blows out the background and gives it a nice ethereal look. The one thing I never do, really, almost never, is expose photographs exactly as my camera says I should. You know, with the light meter. So I never really use a proper, I never really use a what you might call a correct exposure. Most of the time I underexpose. Occasionally, if it's a day like this and I get a subject like this, then I'll overexpose it to give it that ethereal look with the blown out background. As long as you don't blow out your main subject, that would be bad. Right, I'll put this shot up now. So now to the bit that you've been waiting for all through the video, and that is how to win a signed print of one of the photographs that I've taken today. So whether it's the first image, the second image, there's an A and a B because there's two variations on that composition, or the third image, which is the one I've just showed you. Now the way that you can win it is by doing the following. Subscribe to my channel, give the video a like, hit the notification bell, and by the way, I'll check to make sure that you have subscribed, and then I want you to leave a comment and say which image you'd like, and more importantly, why. And then what I'll do, I'll just pick somebody at random from the comments. I'll get in touch with you and then I will send you a signed print of the image that you choose. The size of it will probably be A3. So that's all you have to do if you'd like to win a signed print of one of the images that I've taken today. And if this goes well and I get quite a bit of engagement, if you like, from doing this, then it might be something I might do more often, maybe once a month or something. I'll just do a print giveaway. Anyway, thank you very much for joining me. The video wasn't ideal because the conditions were ideal, and I shot, as I've already said, I shot this video the other day, but it just didn't work. The audio didn't come out. Hopefully we're going to be good today because I've got this thing here that I'm recording audio on through this. I've got a different mic, so hopefully we're all good. Thank you for joining me, and I will see you in the next video.